morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This training today is for industry session presenters. I just want to preface that if you are a session chair, you're more than welcome to stay on, but this training today is going to be focused on the presenters and their tasks within the speaker portal. We will be having a separate session chair training in the beginning of December that will help identify for you all the review tasks that you'll have as a session chair. I'd love to start by introducing my colleague Nate, who's going to be walking you through this presentation today. I will be available on the call in the chat. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer as we go, calling out any important questions to the whole group. This training is being recorded and will be made available on the APEC website later this week. We'll also be sending out the slides to you all and the presenters who were unable to join following the meeting in case anybody missed the presentation. I will now turn it over to Nate.
Thank you, Catalina. Is my screen coming through?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I am Nate, and it is a pleasure to be with you today. We do have an hour blocked out for this, but we don't think we need the whole hour to show you what we need to show you. And we want to leave time for questions. And if we get done early, we can all get your time back. So what I'll try to do is stop at a couple points through as I go through the slides I want to show you, because I can't see the questions. I'm looking at my preview and my slide presentation. So I'll stop, and Catalina, if there's questions, and if anybody would like to unmute and ask their question, they're also welcome. Catalina will be seeing them in the chat, and we can review them as we go. And if there aren't that many, we'll have time for questions at the end as well. Okay, so today is November 12th, and we're here for, as Catalina said, the speaker training. This year, across the board with the technical program at APEC, and this includes the lectures, the dialogues, and the industry presentations, we are including the co-author role in the speaker portal. And we're doing that for a couple reasons. One is for convenience when it comes to making presenter changes. We have realized, working with this program a couple years, that you don't necessarily know who's going to be able to come and present the paper. And so switches are needed. And we have a mechanism for you to request those changes. And we wanted to make it easier on us to make the changes. And so that's reason one. And reason two is attendees at APEC want to be able to find the co-authors, the other contributors to every paper. So we have included both in the invitation to this training. And so when I use the term presenter, I'm using it broadly. You're going to see what's required of the person who's going to be at the meeting and presenting these presentations live, and what is required of co-authors. We are saying that with the understanding that a co-author today might become the presenter tomorrow. So if you have questions about that, if I'm not making that clear, but we're casting a wider net. Everybody is included in this. Everybody is included in the portal, has received an invitation to this training, as well as a invitation via email to the portal. I'm not advancing here. Here we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so Catalina's already introduced myself. Katya is with us today, as well as Rebecca. Katya is one of the principals here at our firm, and Rebecca is working on the speaker support and is seeing the emails that come to the speakers box. So all of us are reachable at speakers@apec-conf.org. So that is here, and is also linked in all the resources that we're going to show you. Of course, we are the meeting planner content team, and we are here, but the main focus of this is you guys, and the industry session presenters, as well as industry session co-authors, are our main target for this meeting. As Catalina said, if there are chairs here There are some things that are relevant to chairs in the speaker portal, and we'll show you those. But as far as the reviewer part of this, we're not really getting into that today, other than to tell you presenters, here's where to upload your slides so they can be reviewed. Our review training happens first week of December. So if you're both, stay on. If you're just not just, but if you are only a chair and want to know about reviews, you're welcome to drop off or stay, and we will have a training about reviews in early December. All of these positions in our platform are called roles. Every individual has one login, but could have multiple roles. You could be a presenter as well as a co-author on another paper, as well as a chair in another session. So you will have received emails according to role, but all those emails should contain the same login information. And so you don't need 3 different logins for 3 different roles. You have a role for each session that you're involved in. The presenter role is responsible for the personal content, which is your profile, and that means your credentials, your place of where you're employed, what your job title is or position, your biography, your photo. Your photo is going to be shared in the mobile app. It makes it engaging for attendees to find you, to see you, to put a face with a name. Everybody's doing that, but only presenters are being asked to confirm their registration, because it's only the presenters that are required to be at APEC in Atlanta in March. Also, it's only the presenter that's required to give us the presentation slides. What are you going to present at APEC? And it's only the presenter that's required to give us a PDF version of those same slides. Same content, 2 formats, and it's the presenter that's required to give us that. The co-authors are not required to attend APEC. They're welcome and it's encouraged, but the co-authors are required to give us their profile, bio, and photo. Now, I use the word required. Is there some penalty for not giving us a photo or bio? No, but it is highly encouraged and makes the event more rewarding for everyone. It makes all the engaged people and the co-authors who have contributed to these papers findable, especially in the mobile app. And it just makes everything better. So you're not required to attend if you're a co-author today, but we do ask for your photo, bio, profile. Little note here at the bottom. If you are currently assigned the role of co-author, but there's been something shuffled around and it's now decided that you're going to be the presenter, there is a change request form that is available on the speaker portal, and I'll show you where that is. But if you've logged in, you'll see it in the task list. If you're making a request for a change, click that link and say, it's no longer going to be so-and-so who's the presenter, it's going to be this person. We hope that it's already an existing contributor on the paper. We need the first name, last name, email. So if you're not the right role, please submit that to the change request form. Session chairs, I won't belabor this. They are required to attend because they're active chairs in the session, as well as the reviewers leading up to the event. And we want their profiles, their bios, and their photos as well. So that in summary, everybody is required to give us their personal data. Presenters are required to give us the presentation files. Chairs are required, as well as presenters, to confirm registration. Yeah, it's 2 lines there, and attend. And co-authors are not required to attend, although it's very welcome if they do attend. So here is a list of important dates, and the color coding is just month. So there's no, if you're wondering why they're different colors, you see in November, and then we have 1 December date, 2 January dates, and 2 dates in February. We are launching early this year. That's going to have some pros and cons with it. We hope more pros than cons. We are launching early, and you have a lot of time as a presenter to give us a draft version of your slide deck and a lot of time to work on it. Also, we want to encourage you to register before early bird ends on the 13th. Of course, today's the 12th. There's this training. Everyone has received their login information. We hope everyone has received it as of last week. And this recording will be available for everyone who couldn't be here. We are asking by early December that you update your bio, photo, and profile, because session chairs are going to begin reviewing in earnest in early December. They're going to be able to start earlier, but since the draft date is not, the draft due date isn't for a while, they might not have a lot to review. But please, before we get too late in the game, update your personal information. It shows us that you're getting the stuff from the portal, that you're able to log in, and it's easier for the session chairs to see, okay, we've got these people engaged and they've updated certain things. Your drafts are due, if you're a presenter now, your drafts are due January 10th. That's a Friday. The early bird ends January 13th. So registration, you have to be registered to present. It would be better to pay the cheaper rate. And that rate extends through January 13th. All right, so then, pardon me, between January and February, we have a whole month for you to go from a draft to a final version. We want your slides, you're approved, your reviewer has said this is great, and you get a final version of that slide deck as a PowerPoint file by the 14th. And then please, 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 by the 21st, give us a PDF version of that same slide deck. And that's going to be a part of the event proceedings. Everyone should see an email that looks something like this with these various sections. The co-author email is a little simpler and has less material than the presenter email. If you're both, you're going to see two emails. At the top, you'll see your name and your role. You are receiving this email because you are an industry session presenter. So your name and role at the top. Your presentation information includes what we're calling your session number. If you're a part of IS-14, it's IS-14 point your order in the session. So this is IS-14.6. And your title, as well as the time of your session, as well as the time of your, actually the time of your session's not here. Your time of your presenting is here. And your role again. Your session chair names and their emails. I blocked out the emails in this. The emails of your session chairs are here. Please contact them as soon as you can. It's the communication between reviewers and presenters is via email, even though it's mediated through the portal. It is coming through as an email. So reach out to your chairs via email. If that information changes, it will update in the data and you would see it updated. This is the chair assignments as of today, and they're likely to stay the same. Your login information is embedded in the invitation email. You don't need to remember your access key or even your username, which is your email address. If you've got the email, you click the link, and that's the long line that I've blocked out in green. You click that and it goes through to the login screen with your information pre-populated. So your access link is right here in the email. There's some links and materials. These are the same links and materials that are available, same resources available in the APEC site in apec-conf.org. When we link to them, we're linking to the same place as if you went to the website and linked. So like the templates are not in multiple places. They're linked from multiple places to one location, which is the APEC site. And then your registration links, registration is open. Please do register. There's a link to registration. There's also a link if you have to apply for a visa. There's a link to visa application information. Important dates are here. Today is the 12th. The 5th, we're asking for your personal data. The 10th, your draft is due. And then you've got a month to give us a final version on February 14th and a PDF of those slides on the 21st. This is what everyone's login screen should look like. If you click to it from the email, it will pre-populate your username and your access key so you don't have to remember it. You're going to see a privacy notice screen or page. It is a function of the software platform that APEC is using. It's not something we can remove. And it's an acknowledgement due to data regulations that I know my email is here. I know my name is here because of this event. I consent to it being here. And you have to sign to proceed. You can't not sign and use the portal. You have to sign and say, I understand, if you're going to use the portal at all. When you do, you're going to get through to what we call a task list page. There's a lot of information on the task list page, but we're centering here on the group of tasks in the middle. And then right under that, you're going to see a link to that change request form. So right down here, if you're saying, I'm the presenter right now, but I know I'm not coming. Catalina, my colleague, is going to come. Then I click on that link. I say who I am, what my what my presentation is, and that the new presenter is Catalina Demacia, and this is her email. So that's where those requests are put, and everybody's got access to the change request forms underneath the task list. So let's go into the tasks a little bit. This top task is not going to be seen by everybody. If you're not part of the organic sessions, the ones that submitted in the submission platform and were grouped into a session, then you wouldn't see that top task, confirm your participation. That went out to everybody who submitted and got organized and then got ported over. PSMA sessions and non-PSMA curated sessions, or the sessions that are put together by the session chairs, you wouldn't see that top task. Your top task would be enter your reg number. So the first group of tasks are user-based. And this just means that when you as an individual complete these, those are completed wherever your information appears across the site or across the in the mobile app. You only need to upload your photo once, your bio once, your profile information once. Your registration, again, it's just once, and that is stuck to you as the individual and not to the presentation, not to the title, but to you as an individual. So these first 5, or the first 4 for most of you, are the personal information tasks. The last 2 are the content upload tasks. If you're a co-author, you won't see those because you're not required to submit them. If you're the presenter, you're going to see the slide deck upload task and the PDF of your slide task. And we'll get into those in just a minute. The 2 formats here, give us PPT or PPTX, and give us PDF for the second one. Co-author list is much simpler. As you can see, we're only asking for your personal information. If you become the presenter, you're the co-author today, but next week you become the presenter, then you're going to start seeing the content tasks. Okay, now we're asking you for the slides. And then once your slides go through the review, then give us a PDF of those same slides. So again, the responsibilities are linked to the role. Real quick here, this is stepping through these. These are very simple. The platform is very self-explanatory and simple to use. Your reg number is what you get from the registration platform. I believe it's a 4-digit number, and you're going to enter it in this field. We use that to cross-check with our registration list when we're doing audits. Are our presenters registered? Are our registrant, yeah, well, that's the way we're checking it. Are our presenters registered? That's what we're looking for. So you're not going to see that if you're not given the role of presenter. But if you are going to see it. Profile has a lot of options and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's up to you. Discretionary content that you can provide. If you want to provide social media links and more things about credentials and more administrative assistant information, that's all possible. Here's what's required. Your first name, your last name, your email, your job title and or position, which is the same thing, and your organization, whether you're a university or a company, those 5 are required. If it's got a red asterisk in it, you can't proceed without putting something there. So that's the profile task. Biography is straightforward. It's a simple text field, and it has a word limit, and that's it. You can put nonsense here. We don't ask you not to do that. Give us a 300-word or less biography so that it's a value to you when people want to find you. Photograph, there's a size limit, a minimum size requirement of 100 kilobytes. That's only there to ensure that we're getting a high enough quality photo that doesn't look blurry and is pixelated. So it's not a pixel count, it's a file size, but it's sort of a proxy for that. And it's a professional photograph, a photograph that you want to have displayed on the mobile app when others are trying to find you. That's the photograph that should be there. And co-authors, as well as chairs, as well as presenters, have that task. All right, now let's get into the content task, and this is for everybody who's a presenter. I've highlighted the upload presentation slides task. This is going to be the most crucial one between now and January 10th, because we are asking, even though there's a long-term due date of February to get us your final slides, we want the chairs, when they're reviewing, to have drafts, a whole list of drafts to review by no later than January 10th. So I communicated that in the deadlines. You'll see the task deadline here is for the very end of the process. We're using this one task all the way through from today till the event. It's this one called upload presentation slides that you need to give us your draft and that the reviewers are going to see, and that then you're going to put your final in there. So we simplified things this year for the sake of the chairs as well as for you guys. This is the reviewed task. Chairs will see, reviewers will see what you put here. Upload presentation slides. In the task itself, if you've got multiple titles, you'll see that you have to click on an upload for each title. If you only have one title, you'll go directly to this screen. It's very simple to navigate. You're going to see the templates are provided again here, and all the presentation templates are here, even the technical template and the seminar template. For you guys, it's going to be either the non-PSMA or the PSMA template, the first two in the list, and they link right to the APEC site. They link to the same place as everywhere, but the templates are here. Please use the appropriate template. You're going to design your PowerPoint, your presentation using this provided template. And this is the PSMA one if you have a PSMA session. And then the file name conventions, please, when you're saving your file and uploading it to us, it makes it so much simpler if we see what your session number is and what your last name is. We're not asking for that paper ID because we switched our submission platforms this year. So you don't need that. The technical lecture and dialogue uses that. But for industry, just your session number. So here, my example, IS05.3 _ a made up last name, Williams, whatever your last name is. Session number, last name. It makes it so much easier. It's not that the system will reject it if it's not named properly, but for everyone's sake, including the reviewers, it's better to use this file naming format. And then you're going to choose the file, you navigate to it from your computer. You'll see that it's previewed there in the slot, and then you have to submit. When you submit, you should see a progress bar go by, and then when it is complete, if you only have one thing to upload, you should see a green check mark on the upload presentation slides task. Now, because we're going back and forth with reviewers, it might not be the last one you ever upload, but the task will be complete once you put a file there and submit. All right, now, again, I'm back to these dates of the draft. January 10th, have your drafts in. You're welcome to start now. Have your drafts in tomorrow. But January 10th, please, everyone have your drafts in so that reviewers have a month to get from draft to final, and that you have a month to get from draft to final. Nope, I skipped. On February 14th, we want the final approved version of those slides uploaded to that same task, and then a PDF of those approved slides to the upload a PDF of your presentation slides task. If you want to do them on the same day, it's even better. If they're approved and your reviewer says these are good, give us the slides and give us a PDF version of those slides. This is redundant, but the first one there in PDF, PowerPoint format, I use PPTX file extension. The second one there for only your final in .pdf file extension. All right, so that's why I underlined here, if you are an industry presenter, make sure you have been approved by your session chair reviewer before uploading a PDF. You don't need to upload a draft and then a PDF of the draft and then always be uploading two things. Just upload that one thing, the PowerPoint presentation, until it's approved, and then give us a final PowerPoint and a final PDF, which is just same thing, saved as a PDF, and in those two places. All right. I will take a break from talking since I've been not paying attention to questions. I can do a live demo, but it's very simple, and it's exactly following the slide deck that I shared. So if we do have a minute, I'll do that, but if we have questions, I'll take those now.
Before we do the live demo, I just want to call out for the recording two of the questions in the chat. So if you are a co-author and you will be presenting alongside the presenter at APEC, that is completely fine. Both of you can work on slides and both of you can present at APEC 2025. You will both need to be registered. The only difference will be that when you are submitting your PowerPoint presentation to the portal, we only need the one person to submit. The way that it aligns within the system is that your session number, say IS 2.3, is linked to that one presentation. If both of you submit, the system gets confused. So we just need one person to submit the final presentation for all co-authors. It doesn't mean that the co-authors cannot stand up at APEC 2025 with the additional presenter to present as well. I hope that clarifies. I know I answered it in the chat.
Kathleen, let me just add one thing to that. If you want it to be reflected in our materials that you were a co-presenter, that your role is presenter, that can be updated. So please request that through the change request form if you're both presenters. And then you would see the additional tasks. However, Catalina is right about we don't want you both uploading files and going back and forth in terms of versions. It's confusing. So if you want your role to look, say, presenter, it can, and we just have to go and make that change. There's nothing preventing any co-author from registering and coming. So we just with that.
And then Nate, my second question, Brian, I see your hands raised. I'm also going to read it out for Nate to answer because I think he'll have a better answer than myself. But last year, a lot of people found the process with reviewing PowerPoints in the draft and final stage to be, quote, a nightmare. What have we done this year to help make it more usable for chairs and reviewers? I did mention in the chat that we went from 2 tasks to 1, the same task, which should help clarify a few things. But the system and tool was found to be confusing. What have we done to address it?
Yes, I appreciate the question. So here, a few things. So the first thing that we have done that is really more accidental, I guess, is that the industry part of the program is the only part of the program this year that's using the slide deck review tool. We had a lot of issues from reviewers where if they were reviewing something that was a lecture and something that was a dialogue and something that was an industry, the tool is not really built to the way we set it up. It made it very clunky to do. That is going to be so much easier because it's only the industry presenters that are using the slide review process. So that's kind of an accidental benefit to everyone. The second thing is what Catalina just mentioned. There is one task for your draft, for your final, from today until the event. There's one place to put those PowerPoint slides, and only one. All communication, number 3, is going to be via email, not through messages. You're not going to see the messages. We had the message feature on, so you saw it in your task when you went in. You saw you had a message. And then there was messages and things that came through email. Reviewers are going to communicate to you through email. You're going to communicate with them through email. And so that's going to make it more streamlined as well. It's only when they approve your final that you're going to upload that PDF. And so really you only have to think about that one task, upload presentation slides. And so it's very simplified. It's very focused. We don't have multiple different tasks for the different parts of the program. We have one task for these different parts of the program, and it's been structurally set up to be simpler. So I hope it proves to be a better experience for everybody.
This is Brian. Can you hear me? May I?
Yes, sir. Yeah, Brian, I hear you.
Hey, so first of all, yeah, I think we kind of missed the point of the question there.
Okay.
And I appreciate what you guys are saying about, one consolidating 2 tasks into one. And Catalina I think she was trying to paraphrase my comment as saying like there was confusion last year. Well, no, there wasn't. And that's not what I said. It wasn't confusion with the process. It's the fact that the process, whether it's 1 task, 2 tasks, or 10, the platform itself was just riddled with bugs, nothing, and it just wouldn't work. It wasn't, from both the reviewer side, from the presenter side and the reviewer side and session chair side. And none of the scenarios you talked about were anything that I'm referring to. But you know, there were problems with what was there. The presenters would upload stuff that wouldn't be available, like it wouldn't be just visible to the session chairs, and I just multiple emails and things to, you know, address what were just, I mean, I'm not going to, I don't, you know, use a better euphemism, but there were bugs with the platform. It wasn't confusion with, you know, it's not that we just weren't able to follow the instructions. It's that the instructions we were given were not valid, or the platform was not able to actually support the instructions given. Yes, it was compounded by that being more than one step, because all the problems we had to then, after going through with the draft stage, then yes, we had to go through that again. So it's good to hear that there are, you know, less cycles. But again, if it sounds like it's still the same platform, the same process, and everything like that, then I've heard nothing about what actually is addressing all the bugs and issues that prevented both presenters and reviewers from completing the task, and certainly doing it in a timely way, to the point where it even really trying, bending over backwards, my chair and I, to see through these and work with the team and do it became so prohibitive. It became a part-time job where we can't even accomplish the reviewer task because of bugs in the system. That is what I'm asking about. That is the concern, and I doubt I was unique in that experience.
Well, it is the same platform, so I guess that sounds like it's bad news for you. We do think it's going to be simpler, and we do think that some of these structural changes will address some of those things that you brought up. As far as the two tasks, the issue that you brought up about uploads will be made and then the reviewer couldn't see them. That would be the way the tasks were set up would make that happen. And so we've changed that. So you shouldn't have that experience. Are you a reviewer again, Brian?
This time I am not set up as a reviewer. I am both a presenter, industry center presenter, and oh no, wait, actually, I think for once, I don't think I'm set up as a session chair. So I think I'm just a presenter this time. So that's great. But I was asking in general, because I know it was a big deal. It affected our speakers, it affected our ability to do it, and it affected our ability to get future speakers, and impacted us greatly. So and I know it impacts other folks. So that's why I'm raising it here.
I do appreciate you bringing it up. We were aware of it being a pain. We do think it's going to be better this year, and we're not just wishing it to be better. The changes we made are going to make it more streamlined. I can't promise there wouldn't be a bug that would happen for people, because we are using software platforms that, you know, we don't design. So I appreciate you raising it, and we do want to hear from chairs and uploaders if they're having issues, and we want to hear your complaints if you have them. So we will do everything we can to make it easier for everybody involved, and we have taken steps to make it easier, and we had some internal lessons learned. And I'm, Brian, addressing everybody here. If they have echo your comments, then I know.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I think like the team is very responsive and helpful and all that, but I'm just saying, heads up ahead of time. If it sounds like I haven't heard anything that's kind of the bugs have been addressed, even though you've tried to put in a better process. So, but all I'm saying is, like, if it was the same thing again for me this year, I would simply just say, I just can't, I just know it's broken. It's not fixed. So I just wouldn't complete the reviews, frankly, or tell or I'd go in once to try. And if I can't, then I'm not going to, you know, bend over backward to keep going back and forth and all that, to make it a part-time job. Nor can I expect my speakers to push them to do that when they are also trying, and it's the platform that's holding us all back. So I just, all I can say is fair enough. I hope it's better this time, but expect that it might prevent people from completing the task specifically for that reason, if that's not something that's been addressed. And I strongly urge you to consider, and the team or whoever stakeholders to, you know, really consider looking at that, and making systematic changes that address the bugs and issues. It's not an issue with the instructions or people not understanding the process. It's the fact that the system is incapable of executing to that process, and that's out of all our hands.
Okay.
Brian,
Both
just to address your concern very quickly, and then we may have to move on, and we will continue to discuss this, especially within the session chair training that happens in early December. But one of the biggest bugs that I know I answered a lot of emails about from not just you, but from a lot of people, was that they were having difficulty with doing their reviews, especially when they were assigned reviews for both industry sessions and in the technical sessions. And that might not have been you directly, but that was a concern
Correct. It
with a
was
lot
not.
of people because they couldn't see all of their presentations at once. The system was very clunky. By removing the review process completely for the technical session, you will only have industry session showing in the review portal, which will make it significantly easier for the reviewer as well as the presenter for the industry session. Even if you're doing
Yeah.
both
Well,
industry and technical, I also think the comment field was a big area where people were having a lot of
I'm sure fire.
difficulty. By removing that completely and doing it via email, I do think it will solve a lot of the issues of people not being able to see the comments that reviewers had left them.
Well, that I agree. That's a change of just not having to go through the comments and being able to do it the old-fashioned way, direct through email. Yes, that was the biggest thing. Okay, well then that's it. Just going back to the old-fashioned way. That helps. Thank you.
Were there other questions, Catalina? Here.
Those were the biggest ones. Co-authors and presenters, everyone gets their own login to the portal, so everyone can complete their own tasks. I don't know, Nate, if you want to go through a quick demonstration now, I think that would be great.
Okay. So, pardon me 1 second. I'm going to stop the share and get this worked out. All right. So what you're going to see in just a minute, close the window, is I have entered myself as the presenter on 3 different example presentations. One of them is a technical lecture, one of them is an industry session, and one of them is a dialogue. So you're going to see a whole list of tasks that apply to your situation as well as to the other presenters. And so my task list may not look exactly like yours, but the process will be the same. All right. I had this all queued up and then, all right. So the first screen you're going to see, once I start sharing here, is the login screen. I'm going from the back end of the system, not from an email, to find myself in the admin platform and then to log in that way. And here I am. Okay, now I'm going to start sharing. Pardon me. Here we go. All right, so what you should see here in a second is the login screen. Don't look too hard, that's my email address, but you probably already have that. So you're going to see the Speaker portal. Welcome to the Speaker portal. This is pre-populated when you follow the link in the email. So I can skip the form as an admin. You won't see a skip form button, but I'll say yes, and then you just type your name the way it appears. Oh, I should have entered it. All right. Some of you will see a confirmed participation task because you're part of the organic group of sessions where that was sent out right after the acceptances were sent out. If you're PSMA or non-PSMA session speaker and it was curated by your session chair, then you won't see that one. I'm going to skip that one for now. Enter registration confirmation number. I'm going to enter just a 1, 2, 3, 4, and the system is going to let me do that. We want you to enter a valid registration number because we're going to run these numbers against the registration list. But this is a way to check your name and email against registration. And I'm just going to continue. I am not yet registered for the event, so I don't have a valid registration number. You can see that once I complete a task, it goes from a red X to a green check. You can always update information, even if you have completed it. It's green check and you want to update your place of employment in the profile task, you can go back in and redo it. You'll see here that the red asterisk fields are already filled in for me in first name, last name, and email. And that's because we have to have that information for you to get an invitation to the platform, period. So that's come over from the submission platform or from what the industry chairs, Deepak, David Chen, and Angus Murray have provided to us. We already have your first name, last name, and email. So I'm just going to put in here my position. You can see these two are also required, and I'm going to say I'm speaker management. I'm going to spell it right, and I'm going to say I work for APEC. Okay. And then I continue, and because I put in the required fields, I have another green check mark. All right. And in the bio field, there is a 300-word limit. I'm just going to put in some lorem ipsum. And if I'm over the limit, it'll tell me. But I had 136 words out of 300, so I'm good. A photograph. I'm going to skip past this. I don't have a photograph queued up to upload to here. So again, it's a minimum file size limit, 100 kilobytes. If it's smaller than that, it'll say, hey, it's got to be bigger than 100. And I don't have one queued up, so I'm skipping it. All right, now the presentation slides. This is the most important because this is the one that the reviewers see. And so this is where your draft goes. This is where your final is going to go. All the templates are available. If you're non-PSMA, this is your template, and it will link right through to the same place that it's linked on the APEC site. If you're PSMA, this is your template, and it's the same place as on the APEC site. So please go to one of these, download it. You should see the download widget up here right from the page, and then prepare your slide deck that way. Your file name conventions are also here. Again, give us your session number, underscore your last name. I have multiple titles, so I'm seeing, hey, you need to do an upload for both of these. Right now, I'm just going to do this one. It's going to say, oh, excuse me. So now I go into this page where I'm going to choose the file. So you're seeing my messy desktop. I'm going over here. I'm selecting a PowerPoint. This will only accept PowerPoint file extensions for this task. Only PowerPoint file extensions will be accepted. So let's see here. Let's upload this file. Once it's there, you'll see that your file name is previewed here. It's not done yet. It has not been uploaded. I have to click submit file. Progress bar goes by, pretty fast internet, and now it's there. So now I get a warning, hey, you've done it, but not everything's been uploaded. If you have more than one title, you're not complete unless you've uploaded for each. I'll go ahead and do this one too, and then you'll see that I'll be complete. And I'll grab my example file and submit. And now my task, when I go back to my list, is complete. I've uploaded a file for both. Now, for you industry presenters, you're not done because this is just your draft and it needs to be approved. So you're complete as far as the system is concerned, but as far as APEC is concerned and your session chairs, they're going to see that, they're going to review it and get back to you, and then you're going to iterate until you're approved. When you are approved, you're going to then do this one. So give us a PDF version of this. Same process. Navigate to it. Find the file. You'll see it previewed. Submit. Now the file's uploaded. So I'm seeing a PDF poster because I have a dialogue example. These are the only ones that you industry folks need to worry about. And so we're only asking for the PDF. Once you're approved, here's this highlighted text. If you're an industry presenter, make sure you've been approved by your session chair reviewer before uploading a PDF of your slide deck. And that's it. And that's the whole shooting match right there. We do hope it's simpler. We do appreciate even the negative feedback. So Brian and anybody else, we do appreciate getting that. We'd rather, if there are problems, we'd rather hear about them than not hear about them. We do think it's going to be easier and smoother this year, and we will work to overcome any bugs or we understand that there are annoyances, but we are trying to minimize those this year. Any questions about the demonstration?
There was nothing in the chat, but if anyone has anything. If not, I will give everyone 15 minutes back. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact myself, Nate, Katya, Rebecca at speakers@apec-conf.org. It is all over the speaker portal. The communications we send out come from that address, and we will respond to inquiries as we get them. Next up is that all industry presenters and co-authors have been sent their logins for the portal. So I highly recommend you go in, start your task now, even if it's just the profile and bio, so that way it's out of the way and done before that December 5th deadline. If there are no further questions, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and we will chat soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.